everybody. My name's Token D Rock here with another stream. Hopefully, all of you had a wonderful weekend. And the overall crypto market cap is actually above $1 trillion, woot woot, at $1.068 trillion. Bitcoin dominance is above 40%. Once again, kind of surprising. I thought we were for sure going to go to 35% or something here in the short term. Maybe a little breakout to the downside. ETH dominance at 19.7%. Bitcoin is at 22,400, you guys. Ethereum at 1724. BNB nearing $300 at 293 right now. Cardano at 50 cents. Solana had a little rally up to about $38. Polkadot at 774. Polygon at 93.94 cents. So you can see Bitcoin has rallied considerably here in the past 2 or 3 days. I thought for sure we would go to the downside. Pardon me. These trucks are ridiculous sometimes. I thought for sure we would see some more downside pressure, at least to like 17.5, and then have a relief rally, but I guess that's not in the cards, at least not yet. That's not to say we can't experience some volatility here in the short term. Again, we did go over how CPI figures should be coming out in the next week or so, along with the data or the basically the Fed rate hike. Is it going to be 50 basis points? Going to be 75 basis points? Is it going to be 100 basis points? Time will tell, but I do think we are going to see some downside movement. It is kind of inevitable because Jerome Powell did mention how the Federal Reserve will not um, end these rate hikes with a soft landing. So I think we can more or less expect another 3 to 6 rate hikes, at least, if not a bit more. But it has been 86 days since Bitcoin hit a low of 17,585 back in June. About 3 months time, you guys. Will we retest that support here in the next week or two? Time will tell. But Bitcoin hash rate hits a new all-time high, so that's very good. Russia's largest tech and industrial company, Rostec, is preparing to use cryptocurrencies for international trade. This is pretty big. Again, more and more people are going to be using cryptocurrencies for everyday things, just like uh, trading, between the countries and such. Getting more and more people familiar with the technology, blockchain, etc. New, we have Dubai-based luxury resort Palazzo Versace now accepts Bitcoin. So you take a visit to Dubai and go to this luxury resort. Well, you can now use Bitcoin to stay there. Pretty cool stuff. Just announcement that the Biden administration has announced a $3 billion package to Jackson, Mississippi, to fund massive repairs and updates to updates to water infrastructure. Just kidding. That money is going to weapons for Ukraine. Surprise, surprise, surprise to no one. Yo, dude, what happened? End of pipelines. Again, making the clown mask, the clown outfit as we go on with this timeline, and oil pipelines. That's the first layer. The second layer, and nuclear power. Third is to sign the largest green energy deal. That's the third phase, and ultimately, the last phase is yo, where are my lights at? Ultimate clown mode. Here we have the pro Bitcoin new leader of the Conservative Party of Canada giving an excellent speech on what is money. And basically, he goes on to talk about how essentially King Henry VIII saw that he could basically inflate the money supply by by scratching some of the silver off of the coins and basically taking the silver out of the coins and then making more coins out of it. And then moving forward, each coin would have only like a tenth, or the outside of the coin would be actual silver, which further devalues the currency. This guy makes a lot of great points. It's kind of a long video, so I'm not going to play it, but and just a reminder that this guy, sitting president of the United States, says we already have an N-word mayor. We don't need any more N-word big shots. And remember, they try to cancel Joe Rogan for repeating something like this. Not even like this. I think I don't remember the full context of what Joe Rogan had said, but it's crazy that they went after him for saying stuff like that, but they won't go after a sitting president for anything like this. And this is from a long time ago, you guys. I'm not saying this guy can't change his feeling, his sentiments towards a particular part of the human race, but most people don't change. So I don't know. I feel like he probably still feels like this. Not sure though. Meanwhile, you have
not only a place on our calendar.
And then we have Kamala Harris comparing the January 6th protest to 9/11 in Pearl Harbor, showing more, um, what's it called? Division within our country. We don't need this. This is ridiculous.
Not only a place on our calendars, but a place in our collective memory. December 7th, 1941, September 11th, 2001, and January 6th, 2021.
They're not even on the same playing field, lady. You're such a lying piece of shit. I'm sorry, guys. I can't stand her. And then her cackle. Oh my god. And you know what? Just to remind you, these two people in power, Biden and Harris, they're fully capable of doing something like this. This is a nuclear blast from the past in the Marshall Islands. This is a proof of war test net. This is what they do to protect fiat. This is proof of war. Just a reminder that the current administration is actually attacking Bitcoin and crypto, saying it's bad for the environment, bad for our climate change efforts and such. And those same people have the audacity to say that proof of work is bad for the environment. Again, you can't make this shit up, you guys. Anyone know which state this is located? I love it. Hold on. Domestic oil is the new ivermectin. You can't have it because it would resolve the crisis they need you to go through. Exactly. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says that Americans could experience a spike in gas prices in the winter when the European Union significantly cuts back on buying Russian oil. You can't make this stuff up. What did I say? You can't make this shit up. It's clown world we live in. And you know what? These same people that are pushing for these green policies, those windmills, well, there are always consequences that are kept from the public. This may be the tip of the iceberg. I'm sorry, but your stupid green energy windmills are killing thousands of birds. And this is true, you guys. Like, look at this. Is it really worth it, And then think of the large scale complications this has, or the large scale damage that this does to the different ecosystems in which these green energy windmills are constructed on. Think of the ecological complications. And then, then you have these pansies, these saboteurs over in the UK disrupting food supply chains more than they already are, and they're exasperating food shortages. Look at this. This is ridiculous. And they think they're on the right side of history. Oh my goodness. Like, good job. You're going to contribute to so many people starving. Good job. Wow. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. And you know what? They don't wear masks because they're not afraid of being prosecuted, which says a lot, because that means they know to some extent that maybe some of them will get away with it. And you know what? And they're on the same side with this guy, Mr. Schwab over here, the James Bond looking villain. Is he gonna win? Time to take action, you
Young
guys.
generation
Listen
like
to this.
Prime Minister Trudeau, half of this government, are actually young. Nobody is also not crazy. We penetrate the cabinets. The change is not just happening. The change can be shaped by us. We have to prepare for a more angry world. How to prepare? Take the necessary action to create a fairer world. I see the need for a great reset. So people assume we are just going back to the good old world which we had, and everything will be normal again. This is, let's say, fiction. It will not happen.
There is only one way this pandemic is going to go. It's going to get worse and worse and worse.
The next crisis is already waiting for us around the corner, and it is the climate crisis.
He said the quiet part out loud. The same tactics that they deployed for C-19 and such, they're gonna deploy in the name of climate change, saving the world, blah blah blah. And you know what? Here we have mysterious fiber clots are being found in corpses recently. Embalmers are reporting that they've been found in 50 to 70% of the recently deceased.
Mysterious
Like,
fibrous
why
clots are
aren't
showing up inside
why
people
aren't
who have
major
recently
news
died.
outlets covering
Some
this?
embalmers say the clots
Is
are
it
found
because
in
their
most
pockets are
corpses these
lined with
days,
big
and
pharma
they've never
money?
seen
Could that
anything like it
possibly be it?
before.
I mean, where
They
else are
warn
these
us that
blood
some
clots
viewers
coming
may
from, you
find
guys?
images in this
It's a
report
little disturbing.
disturbing. Several embalmers
Like
across
you would
the country
think
told
you
the
would think
Epic
we'd
Times
ask
they've been
a bit more
observing strange
questions about
fibrous
why
clots in
these blood
corpses they
clots
work with.
are being found
They
in
report
dead
the
people,
phenomenon started either in 2020 or
and the rate
2021.
of which they're
They
being
say the
found
clots
is
stand out
astounding.
because they're exceptionally big, at a maximum as long as a human leg and as thick as a pinky finger.
Oh my
The
god.
embalmers also say that clots in corpses have become much more common. One embalmer said he finds them in 50 to 70% of all corpses he works with these days, up from 5 to 10% prior to the pandemic.
And it makes you wonder, what exactly is the vaccination rate at this current point in time? I do recall them saying something like 50% of people have been vaccinated, or something like that, or like 60% here in the U.S. So could some of these vaccinations be causing these blood clots? Like, good questions to ask. But CNN's not covering it, and then we have people suddenly dying, and it's the new normal for young people. It happens all the time. It happened before the pandemic. Remember, like all those just random young people just dropping dead mysteriously.
Before, after a member. Now, Matthew was a bright reporter
He
in our
took the
newsroom,
jab.
and
He
you can
followed the
regularly see
rules,
his
and
reports
he
on
still
TV.
died.
Now,
And he died. And he didn't
definitely has to get on
die
the work page.
of natural causes. He just died suddenly. Makes you wonder. And then meanwhile, we have the FDA pushing this garbage. Don't be shocked. You can now recharge your immunity with an updated COVID-19 booster. It's a clown world we live in. Come on. This is the risk of California Bill AB 2098. Since science evolves, particularly clinical science, and getting to the truth requires physicians to challenge one another. Look at this. The CDC now admits post-vaccine myocarditis concerns that were labeled COVID misinformation are legit. Oh, okay. So are you going to reinstate all those accounts that you demanded be banned from YouTube, social media, and such for pushing stuff like this that were labeled COVID misinformation, but now we're finding out it wasn't misinformation at all, it was legit? Then we have if protocols by McCullough, AAPS, FLCCC, and other organizations were the national standard instead of the NIH do not treat early guideline. Doctors Navarro and Hatfield estimate 500,000 would have been saved. And Peter McCullough, qualified MD, an experienced one, mind you, he says his estimate is closer to 667,000 people. Suppression of early treatment is a true mass crime. So because they demanded you not go to the hospital unless you were really, really, really sick coronavirus, it said that over 500,000 people died as a result of these policies. And will the people pushing these policies get prosecuted or punished for doing so? No, not one day of jail time. Here we have Governor of New York, Hochul, gave COVID test contract to campaign donor that charged taxpayers double the price. Oh my goodness. Ann O'Malley says forced COVID testing is a cash cow scam. I agree. And you know what? And I'm surprised we haven't really questioned the authenticity of the results of the these tests that people take, because I was reading somewhere last year that something like over half of COVID tests are will give you false negative. They're not accurate whatsoever. And here we have Dr. Paul Alexander saying he asked CDC Dr. Redfield about the science the CDC used to make 6 feet social distancing rules, etc. He said that there is no science. We made it up. These people are just make things as they go along, and most people eat up the shit, because why not? If the man on the TV told me it to be true, it must be true, right? We reordered American society, decimated countless small businesses, and it was all based on thing. What a travesty! People must go to prison for this. This was an assault on Americans. Here we have bikers in Berlin grouping up together in opposition. My goodness. Oh, I want to move to the countryside. I'm so tired of the loud engines and all that shit. Anyways, sorry. Here we have bikers in Berlin protesting against Olaf Scholz's policy and rising energy prices. It will be a very hot autumn in Europe and beyond. And you know what? These protests are happening all over Europe. Here we have people in Austria rising up, massive demonstration in Vienna against Alexander Schallenberg's policy, Russia's sanctions against Russia, and rising energy prices. Events censored by European media along with American media. Let's be real here. And then here we have South Wales police phoning a citizen journalist asking him to take down a post he posted online because he used the words illegal alien. And they basically say if somebody sees the post and finds it offensive, it will be considered a hate crime. And this gentleman basically brings up the discussion. Oh well, thousands of people are calling me an NAZI. So are you going to try all those people for calling me an NAZI for hate crimes? It's crazy the world we're kind of going into. And again, you can't make this shit up. Here we have Mr. Putin giving his 2 cents. It's kind of interesting. Again, I thought I would show you guys this because they're not going to show you this on CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, because a lot of what this man is saying is actual reality. Like, look at this. I have already mentioned that the entire system of international relations has recently undergone irreversible tectonic shifts. Emerging states and regions around the world, primarily, of course, in the Asia-Pacific region, now play a substantially bigger role. Asia-Pacific countries emerge as new centers of economic and technological growth, attracting human resources, capital, manufacturers. Despite all that, Western countries are seeking to preserve yesterday's world order that benefits only them, and force everyone to live according to the rules which they themselves made up. They're also the ones who regularly violate these rules, always changing them to suit their agenda. And it's true. I mean, you guys, the amount of times that we critique other countries for not respecting the sovereignty of other countries. For example, Russia invading Ukraine. Oh, well, Russia's not respecting Ukraine's sovereignty, blah, blah, blah. Did the U.S. respect Iraq's sovereignty, Yemen sovereignty, Syria's sovereignty, Afghanistan sovereignty? Sorry, what is the one over there? There's just the list goes on, you guys. Like it's crazy. Oh, Libya. Yeah, did we respect Libya's sovereignty? No, we don't. But we get mad when other people do the thing we do. You know, we set the parameters, we break the parameters, but everyone else has to follow the rules. It's an absolute joke. And you know what, guys? I'll just end it here. You guys can check out the rest of his speech if you want to. But you can't make this shit up, guys. I think the market's going to go down further. I think it's inevitable at this point. Fed is probably going to nuke with at least a 50 basis point rate hike, if not something higher. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. I will see you guys all tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you're over on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to be notified when we go live next. Until then.